Welcome to a deep dive, into this incredible world of your innate immune system.
Yeah.
It's that part of your defenses that kind of jumps into action
Right away.
before the adaptive immune system even knows there's a problem.
Exactly.
We've got a stack of fascinating research articles and textbook chapters to unpack.
Yeah, this can be fun.
So get ready to learn how your body can distinguish self from invader
Right.
using a system older than dinosaurs.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
This ancient system is still protecting you every second of every day.
Wow.
And it's not just about fighting off the occasional cold or anything like that.
Right.
We'll also uncover how understanding inflammation
Okay.
is key to both fighting infection and potentially managing chronic illnesses.
So it's more than just skin acting as a barrier.
Right.
Sometimes I think that's all it is.
Yeah, you can think of your skin as like the outer wall of a fortress,
Okay.
the first line of defense.
Right.
But inside, you've got an army of sentinel cells.
Uh-huh.
They're on constant patrol.
Okay.
And a whole arsenal of chemical weapons ready to deploy at a moment's notice.
Okay, fortress with guards and weapons.
Exactly.
That's a much cooler image.
Yeah.
But if the system is so ancient, how does it keep up with, those rapidly evolving microbes that are always trying to outsmart us?
That is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Innate immunity
Mm-hmm.
targets things microbes need to survive,
Uh-huh.
things they can't easily change.
Right.
These are like red flags that our system is primed to recognize.
Uh-huh.
It's like trying to sneak into a club wearing a giant flashing sign that says, I don't belong here.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So if I picture my body as this fortress,
Okay.
what are the key players in this microscopic battle?
So beyond the walls, your sentinel cells are like guards patrolling the fortress.
Okay.
These cells are constantly on the lookout for trouble,
Mm.
using a system called pattern recognition.
Okay.
They're looking for PAMPs or pathogen-associated molecular patterns.
Hey, Malp, what are those exactly? I need something I can visualize.
Okay, so imagine double-stranded RNA,
Okay.
which is the genetic material of many viruses.
Right.
Our cells don't naturally have a lot of this.
Okay.
So when the sentinel cells detect it,
Mm-hmm.
alarm bells start going off.
Okay.
It's a clear sign of a viral invader.
So it's like seeing someone walking around the fortress speaking a foreign language.
Exactly.
Instant red flag.
You got it.
What are some other examples of these PMPs?
Another example is unmethylated CpG DNA,
Okay.
which is common in bacteria,
Right.
but not our own cells.
Got it.
It's like these bacteria are waving their own unique flag,
Uh-huh.
making it really easy for our sentinel cells to spot them.
Okay, so our cells are constantly scanning for these suspicious characters.
Yes.
But what happens if they find one?
Yeah.
Is that when the inflammation starts?
Exactly. Inflammation is like the fortress raising the alarm,
Okay.
bringing in reinforcements and
Yeah.
starting the fight.
Hmm.
But here's where it gets even more interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes inflammation happens even without infection.
Wait, inflammation without infection?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Our cells can release danger signals too.
Hmm.
They're called DAMPs, or damage-associated molecular patterns.
Okay.
Think of it like setting off the fortress alarm because a wall has crumbled,
Right.
even if there are no invaders present.
Okay.
It's basically a way for your body to say, hey, we need to repair this damage,
So inflammation isn't always a bad thing.
right?
It's just a sign that something needs attention.
Exactly.
Whether it's an invader or damage to our own tissues.
Exactly.
This is making me think differently about those times I've had inflammation.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
And understanding these DAMPs is actually opening up new avenues for treating chronic diseases.
Oh, wow.
For example, researchers are looking at ways to block specific DAMPs
Oh,
to reduce harmful inflammation in conditions like heart disease and Alzheimer's.
that's incredible.
Yeah,
It seems like there's so much more to inflammation than meets the eye.
absolutely.
So we've got our PAMPs and DAMPs as acting as alarm signals.
Right.
But who are the guards that are actually reading these signals and
Yeah.
deciding to sound the alarm?
One of the key players here is a family of proteins called toll-like receptors, or TLRs.
Okay.
Think of them as the guards stationed at different points within the fortress,
Okay.
each specializing in recognizing a specific type of threat.
Wait, TLRs?
Yeah,
Didn't you say those were discovered in fruit flies?
I did.
What do fruit flies have to do with human immunity?
It's a remarkable story
Yeah.
that highlights the interconnectedness of life.
Okay.
Scientists studying fruit fly development
Uh-huh.
discovered a gene called toll,
Okay.
which helped determine the fly's body shape.
So it helped them develop normally?
Exactly.
Okay.
Later, they found that this same gene
Uh-huh.
was involved in fighting off fungal infections in flies.
So a gene that helps flies grow legs also helps them fight off fungus.
Isn't that wild?
That's wild.
Yeah.
How did that lead to insights about human immunity?
Well, researchers started looking for similar genes in mammals.
Okay.
And lo and behold, they found the human TLRs,
Uh-huh.
which are critical for our immune responses.
Wow.
It was a Nobel Prize-worthy discovery
Wow.
that showed how evolution often reuses successful strategies across vastly different species.
That's a great example of how basic research can lead to unexpected breakthroughs.
Absolutely.
So back to our fortress analogy.
Okay,
These TLRs are stationed throughout the body,
right.
each looking for a specific type of danger signal.
Exactly.
It's starting to feel like a very sophisticated security system.
It is a very sophisticated security system.
Yeah.
TLRs come in different varieties,
Okay.
and their location is key to their function.
Okay.
Some TLRs are on the surface of cells,
Mm-hmm.
acting like sentries at the fortress gates,
Okay.
looking for external threats.
Okay, so they're looking outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Others are located inside the cell, on compartments called endosomes.
Endosomes.
Yeah.
Can you explain what those are?
Think of them like little pockets within the cell
Okay.
that take in materials from the outside.
Right.
These endosomal TLRs specialize in detecting the genetic material of viruses or bacteria that have been engulfed by the cell.
Uh-huh.
It's like having guards inspecting the luggage of anyone entering the fortress.
So we've got TLRs on the outside looking for trouble,
Yes.
and TLRs on the inside inspecting anything that's been brought in.
Yeah.
That's a pretty thorough security system.
It is.
Yeah.
And when a TLR binds to its target,
Okay.
it triggers a cascade of signals inside the cell,
Mhm.
ultimately leading to the production of inflammatory molecules
Okay.
and interferons.
Interferons.
Yeah.
I know those are important for fighting viruses.
They are.
Tell me more about what they do.
Interferons are like the fortress's communication system,
Okay.
alerting nearby cells to the presence of a viral invader.
Okay.
They help those neighboring cells raise their defenses and even interfere with the virus's ability to replicate.
So it's not just about fighting off the invader directly.
Right.
It's also about warning the rest of the body to be on high alert.
Exactly.
This innate immune system is much more complex than I realized.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Okay.
We've only explored the defenses at the walls and gates of the fortress.
Right.
What about threats that manage to slip past those outer defenses
Uh-huh.
and get inside the cell?
Okay.
That's where things get even more intriguing.
Okay. I'm all ears.
All right.
What kind of defenses do we have against those sneaky invaders that breach the outer walls?
Well, we've got another layer of protection inside the cell,
Uh-huh.
a team of specialized detectives called cytosolic receptors.
Okay.
They're constantly patrolling the cytoplasm,
Okay.
the inner space of the cell,
Right.
looking for signs of intrusion.
So if the TLRs are the guards at the gates,
Yes.
these cytosolic receptors are the detectives investigating any suspicious activity within the fortress walls.
You got it.
I love this analogy.
Good.
What kind of trouble are these detectives looking for?
Well, we've got a few different types of detectives,
Okay.
each with their own specialty.
Okay.
First, there are the NOD-like receptors, or NLRs. These are particularly good at detecting bacterial components that have managed to sneak inside.
So if a bacteria manages to breach the outer defenses, the NLRs are there to sound the alarm.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they don't just sound the alarm.
Uh-huh.
They can actually assemble into larger structures called inflammasomes.
Okay.
Think of these inflammasomes like emergency response teams
Okay.
that get activated when the situation inside the cell becomes critical.
Inflammasomes. That sounds pretty intense.
It
What happens when these emergency response teams get activated?
They trigger a powerful inflammatory response,
Okay.
releasing potent signaling molecules called cytokines,
Right.
which are like distress signals that call for backup and ramp up the fight against the invaders.
Wow, it sounds like a full-blown cellular battle.
It is.
But I'm curious, what else are these cytosolic detectives looking for besides bacterial components?
We've also got cytosolic DNA sensors, or CDSs,
Okay.
which are part of the STING pathway.
Okay.
Think of them as the DNA experts,
Okay.
specifically trained to detect foreign DNA that should be present inside the cell.
Uh-huh.
If they find it, they trigger a potent antiviral response.
So NLRs for bacteria, CDSs for viruses.
Yeah,
It's like having a whole team of specialized detectives.
we do.
Are there any other agencies working inside the cell to keep us safe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can't forget about the IgG-like receptors, or RLRs.
Okay.
These are the RNA specialists
Yeah.
trained to detect viral RNA that's trying to hijack the cell's machinery.
Oh, okay.
They also stimulate the production of interferons,
Right.
amplifying that cellular communication system we talked about earlier.
It's amazing how all these different receptors work together.
Like a well-coordinated security force to protect us from invaders.
It is amazing.
But before we move on to the next part of our innate immunity adventure,
Okay.
I'm still curious about those inflammasomes you mentioned.
Yeah,
They seem like pretty important players.
they are.
Yeah.
And for a long time, inflammasomes were mostly known for their role in gout.
Gout.
Yeah. A painful condition caused by the buildup of uric acid crystals in the joints.
So how do they go from being associated with gout
Right.
to playing a key role in our immune system?
Well, turns out those uric acid crystals
Okay.
are actually acting as a damp,
Okay.
a danger signal that triggers the inflammasome.
Mm.
And research has revealed that inflammasomes can be activated by a whole range of danger signals,
Like what?
not just uric acid crystals.
Uh-huh.
Things like bacterial toxins can trigger them.
Okay.
Even changes in potassium levels within the cell can set them off.
Wow.
It's like having a very sensitive alarm system
Uh-uh.
that can detect even subtle signs of trouble. So it's not just about detecting the enemy,
Right.
it's about detecting any disruption to the normal cellular environment.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is that recent research has linked inflammasomes to a variety of chronic diseases.
Wait, chronic diseases?
Yeah.
You mean like heart disease and Alzheimer's?
Exactly.
Wow.
It seems that dysregulation of inflammasomes,
Okay.
where they're either overactive or not functioning properly,
Uh-huh.
might be contributing to the development of these conditions. It's like having the fortress alarm system going off constantly,
Right.
even when there's no real threat.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal.
So understanding how inflammasomes work could lead to new treatments for these chronic diseases.
That's the hope.
This is why I love learning about this stuff.
Me too.
It always leads to more questions and deeper insights.
Absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about receptors and signaling pathways, but what about the cells themselves?
Yeah.
What are the actual soldiers on the front lines of this microscopic battle?
Well, besides the epithelial cells that form those physical barriers we
Right.
talked about,
Right.
the walls of our fortress,
Yeah.
we have a whole cast of characters ready to defend against invaders.
So besides those wall-forming cells who are the real heroes of the innate immune system.
Okay, well, one of the most important groups is the phagocytes,
Okay.
which include macrophages and neutrophils.
Right.
These are the heavy hitters of the innate immune system.
Okay.
They're like the fortress's soldiers,
Yeah.
engulfing and destroying invaders with incredible efficiency.
We talked about that earlier, the whole Pac-Man analogy. They basically gobble up anything suspicious.
Yeah, they gobble it up.
Okay.
But it's more than just mindless chomping.
Oh, okay.
Phagocytes have a variety of weapons at their disposal
Okay.
to break down and neutralize those invaders once they've been engulfed.
Okay, so they're not just eating the invaders, they're actively destroying them.
They are.
That's even more impressive.
It is impressive.
What other cellular defenders do we have?
We've also got dendritic cells, which act as the intelligence officers of the innate immune system.
Okay.
They capture invaders
Mm-hmm.
and present pieces of them to the adaptive immune system,
Okay.
essentially saying, hey, look what we found.
Right.
This is what we need to be prepared for.
So they're like the scouts gathering information and alerting the rest of the army to the specific threat.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
What other cell types are involved in this intricate defense network?
We can't forget about the innate lymphoid cells, or ILCs.
ILCs,
Yeah,
right?
they're like the special forces of the innate immune system,
Okay.
rapidly producing signaling molecules called cytokines that help orchestrate the immune response.
Okay, so they're sort of like the communicator.
Yeah, like field commanders.
Yeah.
Directing the troops.
Making sure everyone's on the same page.
Exactly.
It's amazing how all these different cell types work together,
It is.
each with its own specialized role. It makes you realize how much is going on inside our bodies every second of every day.
Yeah.
Are there any other cells that stand out as particularly impressive?
Well, you could definitely make a case for natural killer cells, or NK cells.
NK cells.
Yeah.
Okay, assassin.
They're like the elite assassins of the innate immune system.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued.
All right.
Tell me more about these cellular assassins and how they do their job.
What sets NK cells apart is their unique ability to recognize cells that are missing certain markers.
Markers.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
kind of markers are we talking about?
These markers are called MHC class I molecules,
Okay.
and they're found on the surface of most healthy cells in the body.
Okay.
Think of them like a self-ID card
Okay.
that tells the immune system, hey, I belong here, don't attack me.
So if a cell isn't displaying this self-ID card,
Right.
the NK cells see it as a threat.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is a clever way to detect cells that have been infected by viruses or have become cancerous,
Mm-hmm.
because these abnormal cells often try to hide their MHCI molecules to evade detection by other immune cells.
That's sneaky.
It is sneaky.
But how do the NK cells actually eliminate these dangerous cells once they've identified them?
Yeah.
Do they just engulf them like the macrophages?
They have a different mode of attack.
Okay.
They're packed with granules containing deadly proteins
Okay.
that they release onto the target cell.
Deadly proteins. Okay, this is starting to sound like a scene from a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
Yeah.
One of these proteins is called perforin,
Okay.
which literally punches holes in the target cell's membrane.
So it's like poking holes in an enemy's armor.
Exactly.
Okay.
And once those holes are punched, another protein called granzyme enters through the openings
Uh-huh.
and triggers a cascade of events inside the target cell,
Okay.
leading to programmed cell death or apoptosis.
So it's not just about brute force, it's a carefully orchestrated execution.
It is.
I'm starting to see why these NK cells earn their reputation as assassins.
Yeah, they're good at their job.
But we've been focusing on the cellular side of things.
Right.
What about the other components of innate immunity?
You're right. We can't forget about the humoral side of innate immunity,
Okay.
which refers to the soluble molecules circulating in our blood that contribute to our defenses.
So it's not just about cells fighting off invaders.
Right.
It's about having these molecules patrolling our bloodstream as well.
Exactly.
Tell me more about these humoral defenders.
One of the most important components of the humoral innate immune system is the complement system.
Okay.
It's a complex cascade of proteins that can directly destroy bacteria
Okay.
or tag them for destruction by other immune cells.
That sounds pretty powerful.
It is.
How does this complement system actually work?
Imagine it like a chain reaction.
Okay.
When triggered by certain signals,
Uh-huh.
like the presence of a bacterial invader,
Right.
the complement proteins activate each other in a specific sequence,
Okay.
ultimately leading to the formation of a structure called the membrane attack complex.
The membrane attack complex? That sounds ominous.
It
What
does.
does it do?
It literally punches holes in the bacterial membrane, causing it to lose its integrity and
wait.
ultimately die.
So it explodes.
It's like poking a bunch of holes in a water balloon.
Right. It's not going to last very long.
Exactly.
Wow. That's a pretty effective way to take out an invader.
It is effective.
What other humoral components contribute to our innate defenses?
We also have pentraxins,
Okay.
like C-reactive protein or CRP.
CRP?
Yeah,
I've heard that.
which you might have heard of from blood tests.
Right?
They act like molecular flags,
Okay.
binding to microbial components and marking them for destruction by phagocytes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like putting a wanted poster on the invader,
Right.
making it easier for the immune system to find and eliminate it.
So it's not just about directly killing the invaders, it's also about making them more visible to the immune system.
You got it.
Okay.
And we have collectins,
Okay.
which are proteins that bind to specific sugar molecules on the surface of microbes.
Mm.
This binding can directly neutralize the microbes
Okay.
or make them more easily engulfed by phagocytes.
So it's kind of like marking them in a way.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a bit like coating the invaders in a sticky substance that makes them easier to grab.
It's amazing how all these different components of the innate immune system work together.
I know, it's really cool.
Both the cellular and humoral aspects.
Yeah.
It really is like having a multi-layered defense system constantly protecting us from harm.
It is a multi-layered defense system.
And it's not just about fighting off infections.
Right.
Innate immunity plays a crucial role in wound healing,
Yes.
tissue regeneration, and
Uh-huh.
even shaping the adaptive immune response, which we'll talk about later.
We'll get to that.
So it's not just about fighting off the bad guys.
Right.
It's also about keeping our bodies functioning properly and repairing any damage that occurs.
Absolutely.
This has been an incredible journey so far.
I know, it's really cool.
I'm already feeling a newfound appreciation for my own immune system.
It's pretty amazing.
It truly is an incredible system.
Yeah.
And we've only just scratched the surface. In the next part of our deep dive,
Okay.
we'll explore how the innate immune system communicates with the adaptive immune system
Right.
to mount a more targeted and long-lasting defense against invaders.
Looking forward to it.
This is getting good. Stay tuned because in part 2, we'll uncover the secrets of how your body remembers past infections
That's my favorite part.
and prepares for future threats.
It's so cool.
I can't wait.
Me neither. Welcome back to our deep dive into innate immunity.
Yes.
In part one, we explore the fortress of your body,
Right.
meeting the guards, the weapons, and
Yeah.
even those elite assassins, the natural killer cells.
Yeah. It's amazing how much is going on beneath the surface to keep us healthy.
I know, it's really remarkable.
And we left off talking about how the innate immune system
Yes.
isn't just a lone warrior.
Right.
It actually plays a crucial role in shaping the adaptive immune response.
Absolutely. Think of it this way. The innate system is like the first responder,
Okay.
quickly containing the situation
Right.
and gathering intel. But to truly defeat a sophisticated enemy
Uh-huh.
and develop long-term protection, you need a specialized task force.
Okay.
That's where the adaptive immune system comes in.
So it's like calling in the special ops team after the initial attack has been contained?
Exactly. But the special ops team can't just arrive blindly.
Right.
They need detailed information about the enemy.
Right.
And guess who provides that critical intel?
The innate immune system, right?
You got it.
Those dendritic cells we talked about.
Yes.
The ones that capture invaders and present pieces of them to the adaptive system.
Precisely, those dendritic cells are like the intelligence officers,
Okay.
traveling from the site of infection to the lymph nodes,
Mm-hmm.
where the adaptive immune response is orchestrated.
Okay, so let's break down how this handoff happens.
All right.
What exactly are the dendritic cells showing to the adaptive immune system?
They present little fragments of the invader
Yeah.
called antigens
Antigens.
Yeah.
Okay.
on their surface
Mhm.
using special molecules called MHC molecules.
Right, the ones that NK cells are so picky about.
Exactly.
Right.
But in this case, the MHC molecules are acting as display cases,
Okay.
presenting these foreign antigens to the T cells,
Okay.
which are the key players in the adaptive immune response.
T cells, remind me what those do again?
T cells are like the specialized soldiers of the adaptive immune system.
Okay.
There are different types, each with their own unique skills.
Yeah.
Some, like helper T cells,
Mm-hmm.
are like strategists coordinating the immune response by releasing signaling molecules.
Right.
Others, like cytotoxic T cells, are more like snipers,
Okay.
precisely targeting and eliminating infected cells.
Okay, so these dendritic cells are presenting the antigens to the T cells.
Yes.
Saying, here's what we're dealing with, guys. Time to develop a plan of attack.
Exactly. But here's the key for a T cell to become activated and launch a full-blown attack.
Yeah.
It needs more than just seeing the antigen.
It needs more than just a visual confirmation.
Right.
What else does it need?
It needs a second signal, a confirmation that there's a real threat and not just some harmless molecule.
Okay.
This is called a two-signal hypothesis.
Two signals. What are we talking about here?
Think of it like this. You wouldn't want to launch a full-scale military operation based on a single blurry photo. Right.
No, of course not.
You'd want multiple confirmations that there's a real threat.
Right. Multiple sources.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So what's the second signal that convinces the T cells to take action?
Remember those PAMPs and DAMPs we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
The danger signals that trigger the innate immune response?
Right.
They also play a crucial role in activating T cells.
So it's like the innate immune system is vouching for the threat.
Exactly.
Saying, hey, this is the real deal we need to activate the adaptive immune response.
Precisely, those danger signals trigger the dendritic cells to release additional molecules
Okay.
called co-stimulatory molecules,
Okay.
which provide that crucial second signal to the T cells.
So it's like the dendritic cell is saying, see, I told you it was dangerous now, go get them.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm seeing how this handoff works now.
Good.
The innate immune system not only detects the threat,
Right.
but also helps activate the adaptive immune response,
Yes.
ensuring a coordinated and effective defense.
It's a beautiful example of how these two systems, while distinct, work together seamlessly to protect us.
And here's where it gets even more fascinating. The specific signals released by the innate immune system
Yes,
can actually influence what type of adaptive immune response you get.
it's true.
Wait, so it's not just about activating the adaptive system, it's
Right.
about shaping the specific type of response.
Exactly.
How does that work?
Well, depending on the nature of the threat
Uh-huh.
and the specific PAMPs or DAMPs detected,
Okay.
the innate immune cells will release different combinations of cytokines.
Right.
These cytokines act like instructions,
Okay.
telling the adaptive immune system what kind of response is needed.
So it's like the innate immune system is choosing the right weapon for the job
Exactly.
based on the intel it has gathered.
You got it.
Okay.
For example, if the threat is a virus,
Mm-hmm.
the innate immune system might release cytokines that promote the development of cytotoxic T cells.
Right.
those snipers we talked about,
Yeah.
which are particularly good at eliminating virus-infected cells.
So it's a very sophisticated system
Sure.
with the innate immune response not only activating,
Right.
but also guiding the adaptive response
Yes.
to ensure the most effective defense against the specific invader.
That's right.
This is truly remarkable.
It is one of the key advantages of the adaptive immune response is its ability to develop memory.
Memory, you mean like remembering past infections?
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
When T cells encounter an antigen for the first time,
Uh-huh.
it takes a while for them to become fully activated
Right.
and mount a response.
Okay.
This is why you often get sick the first time you're exposed to a new pathogen.
Right. That makes sense. But what about the next time you encounter that same pathogen?
That's where memory comes in during that
Mhm.
initial response.
Mm.
Some of the activated T cells differentiate into memory T cells.
Okay.
These memory cells are like seasoned veterans
Look, yes.
ready to spring into action much more quickly and efficiently
Yeah.
the next time they encounter that specific antigen.
So it's like having a reserve army of highly trained specialists ready to deploy at a moment's notice.
Exactly. And this immunological memory is the basis for vaccines.
Vaccines. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So vaccines are basically introducing our immune system to a weakened or inactive form of a pathogen
Right.
so that it can develop those memory cells without us actually getting sick.
Precisely. It's like giving your immune system a training exercise,
Right.
allowing it to develop the right weapons and strategies
Right.
without having to go through a full-blown battle.
That's a pretty brilliant strategy, but if our immune system is so good at remembering past threats, why do we still get sick sometimes?
That's a great question.
I mean, shouldn't our memory cells be able to protect us from those repeat offenders?
Well, there are a few reasons why our immune memory isn't always foolproof.
Okay, I'm curious. What are some of those reasons why doesn't our immune system always win the battle?
One reason is that some pathogens, like the flu virus, are very good at mutating.
Okay.
This means they can change their appearance,
Yeah.
making them less recognizable to our memory cells.
So it's like our immune system is looking for someone wearing a blue uniform,
Right.
but the enemy has switched to a green uniform to avoid detection.
Exactly. And another reason is that our immune system naturally weakens with age.
Okay.
This is why older adults are often more susceptible to infections
Yeah.
and may need booster shots for certain vaccines.
So it's like our immune army is getting a bit tired
Yeah, you could say that.
and needs some reinforcements as we age.
That's a good way to put it. And
Mhm.
there are other factors that can affect our immune memory,
Okay. Like what?
like stress, lack of sleep, and poor nutrition.
Hmm.
All these things can weaken our defenses, making us more vulnerable to infection.
So it's not just about having a strong immune system. It's about maintaining that strength through a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. Taking care of your body is one of the best ways to support your immune system
Right.
and ensure it can effectively protect you from threats.
This is all so fascinating. I'm learning so much about how my own body works.
Me too.
But I'm also starting to realize how complex the immune system really is.
It is complex.
With all these different cell types signaling molecules
Yeah.
and intricate interactions,
It's really amazing.
it is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
But despite its complexity,
Yeah.
it's remarkably effective at keeping us healthy most of the time.
It is.
And the more we understand about how it works,
Right.
the better equipped we are to support its function and develop new treatments for diseases.
Exactly.
Well, I'm definitely feeling a lot more knowledgeable about my own immune defenses,
Good. I'm glad.
but I'm also curious about what happens after the battle is won.
Okay.
I mean, we've got all this inflammation cell debris.
Yeah.
How does the body clean up the mess and start healing?
That's a great question, and it brings us to the resolution phase of inflammation.
Okay.
It's just as important as the initial attack,
Okay.
ensuring the damage doesn't become chronic.
Okay, so how do we go from a war zone to a peaceful, healed tissue?
Macrophages play a key role here. Remember those heavy hitters we talked about earlier?
Yes.
The ones that engulf and destroy invaders?
Yeah.
Well, they switch roles once the battle is won,
Okay.
becoming the cleanup crew.
So they go from being soldiers to garbage collectors.
Exactly. They engulf dead cells and debris,
Okay.
clearing the battlefield and making way for tissue repair.
That's pretty amazing. They're truly the multitaskers of the immune system.
They are.
But how does the actual healing process work? How do we go from damaged tissue to healthy tissue?
It's a complex process involving a variety of cell types and signaling molecules.
Okay.
But in a nutshell, the macrophages release signals that promote the growth of new blood vessels
Uh-huh.
and the formation of scar tissue.
Okay.
They also recruit other cell types,
Okay.
like fibroblasts,
Mm-hmm.
which help lay down new connective tissue.
So it's like the macrophages are the construction workers
Yeah.
rebuilding the damaged parts of the fortress.
That's a great analogy. And the whole process is tightly regulated,
Okay.
ensuring just the right amount of inflammation to fight the infection,
Right.
followed by a controlled resolution phase to promote healing.
Okay.
It's a delicate balance, but when it works properly, it's a testament to the incredible complexity and efficiency of our immune system.
I'm blown away by all the intricate details we've uncovered in this deep dive.
It is really cool.
We started with a simple idea, the body's first line of defense,
Yeah,
and ended up exploring a world of cellular assassins,
right?
chemical warfare,
Right.
and even garbage-collecting macrophages.
I know, it's pretty amazing.
It's a constant battle raging within us,
It is.
but one that we're remarkably well-equipped to handle thanks to this ancient and powerful system.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely feeling a newfound appreciation for all the hard work my innate immune system is doing right now, even as we speak.
As we speak.
And remember, it's not just about fighting off infections.
Right.
Innate immunity is involved in wound healing, tissue regeneration,
Uh-huh.
and even shaping the adaptive immune response.
Exactly.
It's a fundamental part of what keeps us alive and healthy.
That's right.
Well, listeners, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of innate immunity as much as we did.
You too.
It's a reminder that even though we can't see it,
Yeah,
there's an incredible drama unfolding within us every single day.
that's right.
A battle against microscopic invaders waged by a cellular army that's been honed over billions of years of evolution.
It's truly remarkable.
So the next time you get a cut or a sniffle,
Yeah,
take a moment to appreciate the incredible power of your innate immune system,
I agree.
working tirelessly to keep you safe and sound.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of your own amazing biology.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to our final deep dive into the world of innate immunity. We've explored the fortress of your body.
Right, all those intricate communication systems.
Yeah, and the amazing handoff between the innate and adaptive immune response.
It's really remarkable how it all works together.
It is, but now it's time to kind of roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty
Okay.
of how those cellular defenders actually destroy invaders.
All right, let's do it.
We talked about phagocytes, engulfing microbes like Pac-Man,
Right.
but what happens next?
Well, once a phagocyte, like a macrophage or neutrophil, engulfs a microbe,
Uh-huh.
it forms a specialized compartment
Okay.
called a phagosome.
Phagosome.
Yeah, think of it as a microscopic stomach,
Okay.
designed specifically for breaking down and destroying invaders.
A microscopic stomach for microbes.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more about what's happening inside this phagosome.
Imagine a toxic waste disposal site for microbes.
Okay.
The phagosome is filled with enzymes and chemicals designed to dismantle and destroy anything that ends up there.
Okay, so it's not just about trapping the invaders.
Right.
It's about actively breaking them down.
Exactly. It's like a cellular digestion process.
Give me the gory details.
One of the most effective tools is the production of reactive oxygen species, or ROS.
Oh, okay.
These are highly reactive molecules like superoxide radicals
Mm-hmm.
that essentially rip apart microbial structures.
Okay.
It's like a controlled explosion going off inside the phagosome.
So it's like a microscopic bomb going off inside the cell,
Yeah,
but a very targeted bomb that's designed to avoid damaging the cell itself.
precisely. The cell has ways of protecting itself from these reactive molecules.
That's incredible.
And it gets even more impressive. Macrophages also produce nitric oxide, or NO,
Oh,
which is another powerful antimicrobial agent.
okay.
It can even combine with those reactive oxygen species
Uh-huh.
to create even more potent toxins.
It's like having a 1-2 punch of chemical warfare,
Exactly.
specifically targeted at the invader.
That's right.
It sounds like a very effective way to neutralize those threats.
It is very effective.
Are there any other weapons in the phagocytome's arsenal?
Absolutely. Phagocytes also contain enzymes,
Okay.
like lysozyme.
Lysozyme.
Yeah, that break down bacterial cell walls.
So it's like dissolving the invader's armor,
Exactly.
making them vulnerable to further attack.
You got it.
So it's a combination of oxidative damage,
Right.
enzymatic breakdown,
Uh-huh.
and we can't forget those defensins, right?
Oh, yeah, those are important.
Those peptides that poke holes in microbial membranes.
You got it. Defenses are like tiny daggers
Right.
that disrupt the invader's structural integrity, leading to their demise.
It's a multi-pronged attack from all sides,
It is.
ensuring those microbes don't stand a chance.
It's a very effective system.
It's incredible how our cells have evolved these sophisticated mechanisms to deal with invaders.
I know, it's amazing.
But what about those threats that are too big to be engulfed by a phagocyte?
Okay.
Or those that hide inside our own cells?
That's where our elite assassins,
Mm-hmm.
the natural killer cells or NK cells, come into play. Remember how they're experts at recognizing and killing infected or cancerous cells that try to hide from the immune system?
Right. They target cells that aren't displaying their self-ID, those MHC class I molecules.
Exactly.
But how do they actually deliver the killing blow?
Well, NK cells have their own unique way of eliminating threats.
Okay.
They release deadly proteins from granules within their cytoplasm.
Deadly proteins.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about these cellular weapons.
One of these proteins is called perforin.
Perforin.
Yeah. And it lives up to its name.
Okay.
It literally punches holes in the target cell's membrane,
Okay.
disrupting its integrity and making it vulnerable.
So it's like poking holes in the enemy's defenses,
Exactly.
creating openings for further attack.
That's right.
Okay. And then come the granzymes.
Yes, the granzymes are enzymes
Okay.
that enter through those holes created by perforin
Uh-huh.
and trigger a cascade of events inside the target cell.
Okay.
This cascade ultimately leads to programmed cell death or apoptosis.
Apoptosis, it's like the cell is being instructed to self-destruct.
Precisely. It's a very controlled and tidy way for the cell to die
Okay.
without releasing its contents and causing further damage to surrounding tissues.
So it's a very contained explosion.
You could say that.
It sounds like a very efficient and elegant way to eliminate those dangerous cells
It is.
without causing collateral damage.
And it's essential for maintaining a healthy balance in the body.
But I'm wondering, after the battle is won,
Okay.
how does the body clean up the mess and start the healing process?
It's a crucial part of the immune response.
Yeah,
Ensuring that the inflammation doesn't become chronic and cause more harm than good.
right.
It's called the resolution phase of inflammation.
Okay.
And it's just as important as the initial attack.
So how do we go from a war zone to a peaceful healed tissue?
Well, those macrophages that we talked about earlier,
Yeah, the heavy hitters.
the heavy hitters of the innate immune system,
Yeah.
they switch roles again.
Huh.
They go from being warriors to cleanup crews.
Okay, so they put down their weapons
Exactly.
and pick up a broom.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They engulf dead cells and debris,
Okay.
clearing the battlefield for the healing process to begin.
So they're like the garbage collectors of the immune system, removing all the leftover debris from the battle. And they do more than just cleaning up.
Right.
They also release signaling molecules
Yeah.
that promote tissue repair,
Ah.
stimulating the growth of new blood vessels
Yes.
and the formation of scar tissue to close any wounds.
It's really quite remarkable.
So they're like the construction workers as well,
Yeah.
rebuilding the damaged parts of the fortress.
That's a great analogy.
And this entire process from the initial attack to the resolution phase is tightly regulated,
It is.
ensuring just the right amount of inflammation to fight the infection,
Right.
followed by a controlled return to a peaceful state.
Exactly. It's all about balance.
It's a delicate balance.
It's
But when it works properly, it's a testament to the incredible complexity and efficiency of our innate immune system.
absolutely.
It's truly remarkable how our bodies are equipped to handle these microscopic battles,
I know.
from recognizing the threat to launching a coordinated attack and then cleaning up the mess and repairing the damage.
It's an amazing system.
I'm feeling a newfound appreciation for all the hard work my innate immune system is doing right now, even as we speak.
Me too. It's pretty incredible.
Well, listeners, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of innate immunity as much as we did.
I did.
It's a reminder that even though we can't see it,
Right.
there's an incredible drama unfolding within us every single day.
Yes, a constant battle.
A battle against microscopic invaders,
Right.
waged by a cellular army that's been honed over billions of years of evolution.
It's really quite remarkable.
So the next time you get a cut or a sniffle, take a moment to appreciate the incredible power of your innate immune system,
Yeah.
working tirelessly to keep you safe and sound. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning,
Yeah.
and never underestimate the power of your own amazing biology.
I love it.